Hail and welcome. I want to explain that the neo-progressive definition of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, and transphobia are all complete bullshit. Most of you already knew that, but this really doesn't get discussed very often anymore, and I feel like it's become very relevant in this age of cancel culture. According to neo-progressive activists, who you may know as social justice warriors, the definition for racism, for example, is prejudice plus power. Now, what does that mean? It means that in order to be racist, according to SJWs, you need to be prejudiced and have institutional or systematic power over that person. There are so many things wrong with this definition, it's hard to know where to start. So let's start simple. Let's say there are two homeless men. One of them is white and the other one is black. The white man is racist. He's genuinely afraid of black people, and he hates all black people because a black person beat up his little sister in grade school, and he's never let it go. Not only is he holding a grudge from grade school, he's blaming every black person for the actions of one black kid back in grade school. So the white homeless man, who we'll call Joe, says to the other black homeless man, who we'll call Marcus, "Get away from me, you stupid nigger." Was that not racist? Of course it was. But according to social justice, Joe would need institutional or systematic power to be racist against Marcus. Joe is homeless. He has no institutional or systematic power. Neither of them do. So by SJW logic, it shouldn't count as racism, even though it clearly is racism. Now, what they really mean is that every white person has systematic or institutional power by virtue of the fact that they're white and a man. But a homeless man does not have any authority whatsoever. He doesn't have the power of a system or institution. He doesn't even work or go to school. He lives on the streets. What institutional power could he possibly have? If you're intellectually honest, you'll admit that he has no institutional power, but that what he said was certainly racist. SJWs also don't think anyone could be racist against a white person because according to them, every white man has institutional power and privilege by virtue of being a white man. But what if a black police officer who does have institutional power comes up to a white homeless man, calls him a honky, and rapes him in a back alley, all the while calling him white devil and cracker? Now we have a black person who does have institutional power and used it to commit a hate crime against a homeless man because he was white. Is that not racism? You say prejudice plus power, but you also say that it's impossible to be racist against a white person. What if a black person does have institutional power and abuses it to torment a white homeless man who doesn't have institutional power because he's white? Is that not racist or a hate crime? Of course it is. Finally, let's say we have a white homeless man and a black homeless man. Neither have institutional power. Now let's say the black man beats up the white man, all the while saying, "Wrong hood, honky, wrong hood, white devil, no crack is in this hood," and beats him until he's on life support. Was that not racist? Was that not a hate crime? No one has institutional or systematic power, they're both homeless. But the black man made it clear that he was beating the white homeless man up for being white in the wrong neighborhood. Can you look me in the eye and tell me that isn't a racially motivated crime, therefore making the black homeless man innocent of racism? If so, you are completely delusional. My point is that the prejudice plus power argument doesn't hold up to scrutiny. Not every white person has institutional power, yet they can still be racist. Some black people have institutional power, so they can be racist too by the SJW definition. And even if a black man doesn't have institutional power, he can still be racist against a white man. If you aren't white and you don't believe me, go beat up a white man in front of the police and call him by racial slurs. Your lawyer should be able to argue your case by simply saying that racism is prejudice plus power, so this can't possibly be a hate crime. Let me know if you get away with your hate crime. If it's true, you should be able to do that. If not, then shut the fuck up about your made-up definitions. Racism is racism, no matter who is being racist to whom. Same with sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, etc. It can always go both ways. If a woman hates a man for being a man, so she harasses him, calls him disgusting things, stalks him, and eventually beats him up for being a man, she will go to jail for a hate crime if she's caught. A woman can't just kill a random man and get away with it since men are the oppressor, apparently. People who oppress others are the oppressors. Sometimes it's men, sometimes it's women, sometimes it's white people, sometimes it isn't. Was Fidel Castro not a tyrant just because he isn't white? Was Bathory not a tyrant simply because she was a woman? Think about what you're saying, it makes no sense. You can't blame all white people or all men for the actions of a few. If my dad commits a crime, I don't go to jail, my dad does. Many victims of sexual assault or domestic abuse are men. But should they not count because there are also men who commit these crimes? There are women who rape, and there are women who abuse their spouses. Should they be let off the hook because men do those things more often? Of course not. The social justice definitions of various types of discrimination simply don't hold up to scrutiny. Anyone could be racist or sexist or whatever, and anyone could be a victim of these things. It doesn't matter what your race or gender or sexuality is. If you haven't done these things, you're not guilty. And it doesn't matter if you're a person of color. If you've been racist against white people, it's still racism. If you're a woman who's been sexist towards men, it's still sexism. Discrimination is discrimination no matter who is doing it to whom, and it's wrong every time and in every situation. Next time I hear this Prejudice Plus Power bullshit, I'll be linking you this video, and if you still don't get it, watch the video over and over again until you do. Anyways, have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this.